Work on a bill regarding vaccines took place in Legislative Committee in Augusta today. The bill would give pharmacists the ability to prescribe, dispense, or administer certain general vaccines to individuals over 18. For COVID and influenza vaccines, it would be for those 6 months and older. The bill would also require insurance carriers to provide coverage for vaccines without deductible copayment, coinsurance, or cost-sharing reimbursement. All but one committee member voted in favor, with insurance companies voicing their concerns with the emergency preamble. That means the law would go into effect immediately if passed by a 2/3 vote and signed by the governor.
I mean, it's a technical violation for us potentially if the law takes effect beforehand, before we've had a chance to update our certificates.
Bill now moves to both the House and Senate for debate and to be voted on.